Sweet. All right. Y'all, this is Mitch's Picks. I'm John Mitch here. Today we are going to be interviewing and talking to with my boy, Mr. Mike Brown. I've known Mike for quite some time here. Um, First through, family, and then it's kind of funny to say he kind of watched me grow up for the past probably 15 years.
Yeah.
He turned into a good friend, and he actually is one of the first people who's actually served me my first legal beer. So,
I'll do what I can.
Mike, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming out, dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, bro. Today we're going to talk a lot about fantasy, everything from week 1 to week 9, and then we'll talk about some playoff contenders. And I want to get your picks because I know you're a very smart individual when it comes to football and fantasy. And
Yeah.
then we'll close up. Oh yeah, same. And then we'll close out the show with my favorite betting segment of the week, and hopefully we can make some money. And Mike, I do this thing where we do money lines. And so, based off of your picks and my picks, disagree or agree. And if we disagree, I always go with the interviewee and their
Okay.
pick. And I make one, and at the end of each week, I post it on my Twitter to see if it was a hit or loss.
Okay.
And yeah, so let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So Mike, my favorite bartender in the whole world.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Shout out to Chuck's also. Um, I want to go a little before football talk. I want to get your favorite drink to make at Chuck's. If it's a special one that not many people ask for, or just like your favorite. And then I also want to hear your most annoyed drink that people ask you to make, and you're like, God damn it, I don't want to do this.
I mean, favorite drink. I don't know if I really have like a favorite. Like, you just get so used to making all of them.
Yeah.
Like Bloody Mary, stuff like that. Just because I don't know, you just make them all the time, and people tend to love them. You get the
Yeah.
best feedback off them and stuff like that, which kind of makes you feel a little better when somebody
Yeah.
actually really enjoys what they're actually drinking. Because vodka, soda, Captain Coke, whatever. I mean, it's just so
Yeah.
basic. It depends on how much alcohol you like.
Yep.
But I mean, for most annoying, probably old fashioned, just because the amount of steps it takes, and like
Yep.
it's one of the you make one or two, it's fine. But normally, what happens is like one person sees it, and they're like, "Oh, I want one of those," and then all of a sudden somebody else sees it. "Oh my god, I want one of those." And next thing you know, you're busy and you're trying to make like freaking like 20, 30 of an hour, and it's just your hands are all sticky from the sugar and the
Yep.
fruit and muddling, and it's all awesome.
Yeah, that's funny too because my favorite drink to drink is an old fashioned, and I now know I'm never gonna ask you to make one.
No, there's a time and there's a time and a place for that. And like I actually enjoy making them. It's just when you got to make a ton of them and you know you're busy and it's like, all right, man, like I got to try to fly.
Yeah, for real,
There's
for real.
300 people in here and you want an old fashioned right now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Uh huh. What is your favorite drink to drink? We'll start with beer, and I don't know if you're a huge like IPA guy, whatnot. But I want to get your thoughts.
Well, I'm the world's worst beer guy because I'm like a tailgate beer guy. So it's all
Yeah.
like light beers,
Yeah.
like natty light, high life light,
Yep.
Bush light, whatever,
Oh yeah.
whatever's sitting in a cooler, just awesome me, just to say light on it.
Yep.
Like in the real world of actual beers, like Spotted Cow, Two Women, both are really
Yep.
hilarious.
Yep.
What else? There's a couple Euro beers, but they're always better when you have them like overseas
For
because
sure.
they just taste bad here.
For
But
sure.
like you go overseas and everything just tastes so much better. So I mean, pretty
Yeah.
much any beer once you get out of America,
Yeah.
because there's just something off about them when you drink them here. We went to Ireland a few years back, and it was just, oh, it was like drinking water. It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
the beer is warm, cold. It was just delicious.
Yeah. My one of my goals is to drink. I mean, Guinness is so. I think Guinness is a pretty smooth beer here, but just like the nostalgia of drinking one in Ireland, that's like
Oh,
definitely what I want to do.
it's like Jesus made it. It's incredible.
I
Like
bet.
so we have a guy that he works for one of the distribution companies over here, and he got us like tickets to the like a private tour of Guinness, and then like you go upstairs and you get a bunch of free flights and everything
Yep.
else, and you just sit up. There's this big like tower, like a 360 tower. And
That's
you look
sick.
over all of Dublin and everything, and it is so delicious. It's not even close to how good it is over there.
That's sweet. What's your favorite like mixy drink or hard alcohol?
Oh, I do everything. It's all vodka and tequila. I'm a
Yeah.
terrible whiskey drinker. Drank too much of it in high school. It
Yeah.
didn't end well, and so I just don't drink it anymore. So it's pretty much everything's all whiskey, right now, vodka, tequila.
Yeah, fair, 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 fair. My beer, dude, I don't know. I mean, Spotted's, up there, but IPA wise, I mean, I'm more, yeah, IPA wise. I drink. My favorite one is from a small brewery in Dayton, and it's called the High Flyer. It's pretty good.
I've heard of that one.
I think they're like 7 to 8%. I don't know. They're pretty solid.
Okay.
And
That's
then
hefty.
yeah, oh yeah. I kind of like the hefty beers. I'm a big like stout guy too. And
Yeah.
at this brewery, they did a seasonal, and it was like it was so good. I would consider it more of like a probably after dinner beer or like a dessert beer in a way, because it was just
Yeah.
like this coffee like tasting stout beer. It was like 13%, bro. I had
Oh, wow.
I had two of those, and then went out after. I was
Gone.
rocked. Yeah, terribly.
We had a 12% Oktoberfest one time, and some guy had like 4 of them. We're like, you need to be careful. It's 12%. He stood up, fell right over.
Yeah, I fucking bet.
We're like, how can we get you home?
Yeah, and then like I don't know, like you said, like hard alcohol wise, I mean, I can drink everything, vodka, with I like whiskey and like the darker liquors a lot, and then obviously being a Mitch'S and being my mom's son, alcohol is tequila, well, and alcohol, but tequila's always been a go to of mine.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tequila's
big,
just so clean.
yeah,
Love it.
it is.
It goes with everything.
For real. But now enough about fucking alcohol. Let's get into what we're really here for, which is football. I wanted to get your thoughts on some teams and your favorite game from Week 9, and I just want to get your opinion on like how the season's been going. Any surprising teams they're doing better than you thought? Any good teams that are doing shittier than you thought? And yeah, we'll start there.
Okay. I gotta say, probably my favorite, and this is all right. So I guess I started off. I'm a Bears fan, but we were talking before the show, NFL fan first. But as a Bears fan, I absolutely loathe the Vikings. But the Vikings winning that game with Josh Dobbs being with the team for like 7 minutes, is maybe one of the craziest things of the season. The fact that they were going over their cadence pregame, the guys didn't even know it.
No,
they hadn't even heard it before.
Yeah,
and you're going into a live NFL game where guys have had weeks, months to prep for this, and you go in and you don't even know guys' names.
Yeah,
and to fight and to play that game the way they did and to come out with that win, incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. And Raiders too, I think, for their first game without all that BS out there, big time showing for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Vikings, dude, and like what you alluded to, I despise them. I hate them. And I think they're still legitimate. Like they're making the playoffs for sure. I don't know if it's a far deep run, but I mean Dobbs, honestly, with like the as much as he's been tossed around like a dirty rag at a bar, like. He's been pretty decent, and like I'm not going to say like he's a really good top 15, top 25 quarterback, but he
I don't think it's that far to say top 15.
Yeah, but like he goes into any system, learns it, and I think he performs pretty well. And I'm not going to talk shit about him because he's also been traded and been dealt a tough hand on the teams he's been for the past year and a half.
Yeah, well, they try to make him replace Big Ben. I mean, that's just that's a tall order. And then Pittsburgh doesn't do the best with developing quarterbacks. If you either come in and you're a G for the Steelers, or you usually got a worker, you're out of there.
Yeah, for sure. And but like Cardinals, man, I mean, like he wasn't having a bad year. And like I think the biggest thing that's been a surprise to me is how good he is with his fucking legs. Like he's a very, very, very good runner. And I mean, he did it at Tennessee when he was in college all the time. And it's just like, and I'm excited that he's on the Vikings because I read a report today that Justin Jefferson is questionable for Sunday, potentially. But I know he's not off IR yet, so he's still inactive. But
I'd wait a week. I'd wait one more week if I was those guys. But I mean,
like when he comes back, like I think they're going to be pretty dominant. And Jordan Addison, man, I fucking love him. He's been killing it. He's definitely one of the shining rookies this year, out of the whole draft class for sure.
Yeah, it's actually been a pretty impressive draft class.
Yeah, for real. And he's putting up great numbers already, and like taken the, I guess, wide receiver 1 role since, Jay Jettas went down, and he's been, pretty fucking solid. I'd say that.
Yeah, which I think is impressive too, because he's not a big guy.
No,
And to know that you don't need to cover anybody else in Minnesota outside of
no.
Hawkinson. And
Yeah,
so
literally.
that's a linebacker and a safety, which means you can put a lot of guys checking on Addison. And the
Yep.
fact that he's breaking out and doing this as a rookie, as a smaller guy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
having the
Well,
success he's having
yeah.
is very impressive.
Yeah, what do you do? Oh yeah, the fucking San Fran game, bro.
Hmm.
That game was the epitome of just like for him, like grit, toughness,
Uh-huh.
like first ball thrown at him, it's a fucking interception. The ball gets rustled out of his hands, and then two
Yeah.
drives later, he does it
Hmm.
to Tre'Davious Ward. I was like,
Yeah.
this dude's a G.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's impressive. I mean, he's a USC guy, and I will believe in USC wide receivers until I die.
Yeah,
But I mean, because usually it comes with the talent of being a top 5,
yeah,
wide receiver most of your recruiting classes when you
for
come out
sure.
as a draftee. But I mean, I don't know, to come out and show out like that, especially when you're in the shadow of Jefferson.
Mhm.
That's impressive.
Yeah, for me, I think one team that I really, really like, and they're on a bye this week. I love the Jags this year, dude. I've
Mhm.
been enjoying watching their offense develop under Peterson finally, and him getting comfortable with T Law and the receiving core he's had.
Yeah.
And their defense is playing pretty fucking good for not like they're not dominant per se, but like they're meshing really well chemistry wise. And they're the one player I love on their defense, and he's been, I don't know if he's on IR, but he's been out for the past two games. Andre Cisco, their safety, he's a
Hmm.
rookie,
Yes.
hard hitter.
He
Like
destroys people.
yeah, he reminds me of like fucking Cam Chancellor, dude.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like he's a ball player for sure, and
Yep.
I'm excited to see how they do with the rest of the year. And then I mean they're making the playoffs, obviously, but I'm excited to see if T Law can take his team to the next level. I mean, obviously
Hmm.
they made it last year, but I'm excited to see them maybe go into the farther than the divisional playoff
Yeah.
game. So
I
we'll
agree.
see.
I think they need an identity. I think that's the only thing they lack. I think
Yeah.
what they have done, like, I love the Detroit Lions, and it's basically because their last 3 draft classes have been fantastic. The fact that you have a guy like Jeff Okuda as a bust, and you don't even talk about that because of how good your draft classes are. They don't even bring
Yeah.
that up. They don't
Yeah.
even care because your
No.
draft class has been that good,
Yep.
and free agency has been that good for them. The money
Yeah.
they've spent has been that good,
Yeah.
and the Jaguars have done pretty close to the same. They've had
Yeah.
really solid drafts. They've got a lot out of their guys that they have drafted, a lot out of their free agents. So Christian Kirk, everybody looked at them with that, was it 84 million that they dropped him when he was a free agent. Everybody's like, "What are you doing?" And
Do it.
he's been fine.
Yeah.
He's
He's been
not
great.
elite, but he's been fine.
Yeah.
I just think that there's something that's just kind of soft with Lawrence as a leader.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever hear his pregame like hype talk and everything, it's kind of like you took a science teacher and like threw him in the middle of a huddle and it's like, all right, cool, let's try to talk these guys up. He's like, I don't really know how to do this.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
outside of them kind of lacking that, that, I don't know, there's just something that's just kind of missing with them, that like that grit, that like, I don't know, there's just something that just seems like they're like you said, they're there, but
Yeah.
it's just there's something that just has them from going over the top to being with everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, like two things that I think that also can take them to the next level, with Calvin Ridley being reinstated this year or last year and then coming to this year, being traded to the Jags. Him and T Law's chemistry at times have been there. And, his first game, he had an outbreak game, 100 plus yards, tutty. But like from weeks 2 to now, it's been like,
No,
where are you?
like, who are you? Who are you?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
His route seems shaky. His hands are shaky. Like,
yeah.
he had some drop issues and stuff like that in Atlanta, but nothing that was like this. It's like
No.
there's no confidence. And after week 1, you're sitting there looking at him like, screw you, NFL, for even cutting this guy out for a year. Like,
Yeah.
you cost us all this talent and what we're watching, and now you're kind of, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And so like I'm like, come on, like wake up. Because
Mhm.
I do enjoy Calvin as a player. And like all of the hype videos of him running routes in,
Mhm.
practice. I was like, holy fuck. A,
Yeah.
he looks faster than he was before. And B, he looks stronger and crisper than he
Yes.
was before he, was not playing for a bit. So it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. And then the one player that I absolutely love, who is my favorite running back right now in the league, is fucking Travis Etienne. I fucking love that man.
He is saved 2 of my leagues.
Yeah,
Not even close.
And I'm happy for him because he's finally healthy. That
Hmm.
he was dealing with his foot issues and all
Yeah,
that, and it's like thank you because like
yeah,
them drafting him, I was like when they drafted him, I was like, oh my god, like literally you got two teammates in the backfield together, and like the chemistry's already there. That's a given. But like in college, we all knew he was an explosive fucking
yeah.
player, and when he gets out in space, it's a fucking problem, like a
Oh,
major
big time.
problem.
It's that London game. I don't
Yeah.
feel like I ever fully like enjoyed watching him live until I saw the London game. And it was a broken play with a penalty or something like that, and he
Yep.
still finished off the play. And I remember watching him cut the corner and turn the corner, and it was like watching Tyreek Hill with an
Yeah.
extra
Literally.
24 inches on him. It was
Literally.
incredible.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm enjoying him a lot. I'm excited to see how they keep playing for the rest of the year, man. But moving on here. So we kind of already went into the segment by talking about team about specific teams, but this segment is called "What You Learn About the AFC and NFC." Here, you can pick a team from AFC or NFC from the North, East, West, and South. It could be praising, it could be you shitting on them. We're going to start with the North of either AFC or NFC.
Well, I think the north of the NFC is pretty outside of the wild card with Dobbs and the Vikings. I think it's pretty. It's Detroit and everybody else is fighting over draft picks. I think
Yep.
in Minnesota they sorted out fantastic. I think they've got
Yeah.
a team that's enough. Their defense is solid enough. They've got offensive weapons, and I think
Yep.
Dobbs is enough to get them to the playoffs. And there's no quarterbacks in the NFC. There's like three that are legit. Like, okay, you got to face these guys, and you're scared of them.
Yeah.
And that's it. And so like it's like I want to say I bet the Vikings the week that Cousins went down to win the whole thing because their
Yeah.
odds were good, and I was freaked out about it because I'm like, well, he just lost him, the bet's dead. And then all of a sudden they got Dobbs, and I'm like, okay, there's actually a shot at this because
For sure.
all you need is a defense and an
Yep.
offense that's good enough. And I think that they can throw up 24 points a game, something
Easily.
like that. And but
Easily.
like, I mean, I don't know. I think it's too distracted with that. I guess outside of that, and NFC North is it's Detroit's to lose. It's they own it. I don't see who touches them.
Yeah.
But the
Agreed.
AFC North, oh my god,
Oh my God. Currently, all four teams are slotted in the playoff picture
5 and
right
3 is the
now.
worst. The Steelers are sitting second overall, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
what are they getting outscored by right now? It's
Um, it,
incredible.
it's yeah, it's incredible, and yeah, like as I'm a not a Yinzer, born, but I'm a Yinzer at heart, and like, I mean, yeah, I've been talking with my dad. It's just like, holy fuck, like we're
Hmm.
the shittiest 5-3 team. I want to say almost in NFL history because like we are
Yeah,
that we are
Kenny
that bad,
Pickett is terrible.
bro. Oh my god, I'm so done with him. Like he's not him.
No, I have him on my
I
dynasty team, so I want him to be good.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
want
Oh,
him to
oh,
be
oh, yeah,
good.
yeah. And
He is
don't get
terrible.
yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I want him to be a very, very confident, like stud at
Yeah,
quarterback. And I think he does have like what you were saying with the T law and the leadership portion that he's kind of lacking. I'd say commanding a locker room. I think Kenny does have that element to him,
yeah,
but his decision making, his reads at the line, and his arm accuracy is just not there for me.
I agree. I
And
think it's confidence and
yeah. Yeah.
because he was there as a player in Pitt, but I mean
Oh my god, yeah.
at the same time, I mean the NFL ball
Yeah,
to the
is
college ball, and I don't think a lot of guys understand that full adjustment
no, for
when it
sure
comes to
no.
their arm and their throws. Like even like you watch the Bajent for the Bears, like
Oh god.
the
Oh,
soft throws that come off of that guy, and it's like you watch a guy and it's like, how did he throw for that many yards in college? I
yeah,
know it was a lower level, but you're still throwing
yeah,
a football.
yeah,
You still had to throw that with some zip, with some actual speed, muscle, anything.
yep,
And you watch some of these underthrows where it's like you didn't throw off your back feet, you were
nope,
planted, you threw it properly,
yep,
hips, everything else, and that thing
uh-huh.
was still 7-10 yards short.
Yeah, I do want to tangent into this whole Bears quarterback thing. I want to get your true thoughts, and you could be a minute of Justin. And do you think I'm gonna preface the question? I'm not asking if you think he's the guy. I'm asking if we give him enough help offensively and another star talent, do you think he could be a say top 15 quarterback and the Bears franchise quarterback for a decent amount of years?
I think yes, but the chances of all of that lining up with what they have done to him and to this
Yep.
team,
Okay, good.
run as an organization, I think it's not going to happen in Chicago.
And that makes me sad because as you see that
100%.
jersey behind me, I'm
Yeah.
a big Fields fan.
I love Fields. The amount of football cards I have of his that I've
Yep.
invested in him, cards, jerseys, you name
Yep.
it. I absolutely love him as a player.
Yeah.
I just and like people are ragging on this. He's got over 4 seconds to throw. He's got the most time in NFL. If the play designs aren't good,
Thank you.
I don't care. You
I
can have
thank
10
you.
seconds if it makes you if the play design makes you coverable.
Yep.
The reason why they sit there and say anything past 2.5 seconds you should have success is because it's that hard for a safety cornerback to cover a guy. But if the
Yep.
play design is that bad, it's
Mm-hmm.
not that hard for them to cover you for that long.
Yeah, and that's my thing too. Like all of my friends, I like, I'm Bears Twitter out the wazoo, and it's like I'm commenting like you're a fucking professional NFL analyst, and you're not you're not looking at it at its like truest picture. Yes, I will say O-line been a million times better this year than they were last year,
Yeah.
and even his first year.
Doesn't make the plays good.
Yeah, exactly. And my biggest qualm with the Bears is Getsy, man.
No,
It's sad,
mhm.
honestly. Like, and I honestly compare him to Matt Canada on the Steelers side. They're high school offensive coordinators with head jobs as NFL OCs, and it's just like,
Mhm.
what are you doing here? B, how'd you get here? And C, why haven't each organization fired you yet?
Yeah.
And like, do what the Raiders did, clean the fucking house.
Yes, and who cares what it costs?
No,
The market you have, the
yeah,
city behind
oh
you,
my,
the money you have, just get it over with.
just
And
yeah,
and that's my issue with Fields. My thing is you can't move on with these coaches. Claypool,
oh
as much as I can't stand Claypool, he spoke up because of the coaches. Justin Fields spoke up with the coaches. They made him apologize. They made him
yeah.
apologize.
Yeah, and since that day, it's been a PR smear campaign for
Yes,
Fields, and
100%.
and it's like everyone like and Bears organization too. Like if they don't get fired and clean the house this offseason, I'm gonna be, of course, I'm gonna be loyal, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be watching as
Yeah. How do you get
frequently.
excited for it? How do you put your heart behind it? How do you try to get excited for next season? Look for
Let
tickets, anything like that.
like how am I gonna be excited for us? Probably. Well, I'm hoping as my GM brain works is if we don't draft Marvin Harrison Jr., A, I think we're stupid.
100%.
B, if you don't fill the D trenches with more depth, I think they're stupid. I mean, we got to sign Jalen Johnson, somehow make a deal there. I
Yeah.
don't think it needs to be a 16 to 18 mil a year he's asking for. I don't know if he's worth that much.
Not yet.
Not yet, but
Give him a 2-year deal. Make him happy for now.
exactly. So that's my thoughts.
Make him earn the bigger one.
Yeah, that's
By the way, I love the Montez Sweat.
oh,
After watching him play,
bro,
take the money,
bro,
have the money.
bro. True. And I was talking to my buddy at work today about him. Like, do I look at him as a yes, he's a star DN. I'm not discrediting him, but the impact that he makes the D line better
Hmm.
by him being there. And I made this comparison. I was like, I don't think he is as of a game changer, say as like TJ Watt is. TJ Watt is a one man show and can get it done by himself almost every given play and get a sack. But
Yeah.
like you saw like if you watched the game last night, it was like yeah, Montez Sweat didn't have too many hands bodies on the quarterback. He should have gotten called on like two passes. I mean, roughing the passers, in my opinion. But
Thankfully,
yeah,
because the NFL is getting so soft with those.
I know it's
Whatever.
bullshit.
We can go on for a billion years on that one.
Yeah, but it's like I could tell his impact more so this week that he made that D line perform better, and there was more opportunities for the rest of the D line to eat and to be
Yes.
successful.
So the biggest reason guys like him help, and this is what I don't think a lot of people understand when there's like, oh, draft offensive line, draft defensive line. Oh, they don't do it. They don't have an impact. They are the most impactful pieces on any NFL team. The reason the Bengals got to the Super Bowl without an offensive line is because you can do that. You can BS your way to a
Yeah,
championship game to a Super Bowl, but all of a sudden having to win a Super Bowl without having an offensive line,
yeah,
good luck.
Yeah.
It's not happening. And the thing that happens when you have a good defensive line, offensive line obviously speaks for itself. You got to protect your quarterback, gives you time, play
Yep.
development, everything else. But defensive line, if you have one or two guys on that defensive line that you have to double team or worry about getting to the quarterback,
Yep.
now all of a sudden you got to assign more guys to them.
Yep.
Now you can't assign more guys to get second level, to get
Yep.
third level. And then all of a sudden those guys now can do a job that they've never been able to do before. A linebacker can move around without getting blocked. A safety can roam around and stop the run however he wants because he doesn't have a guy chipping off to block him.
Yep.
And that makes it that Bears defense looked like something we had never seen this year. I know it was the Carolina Panthers. It's a very anemic offense and everything else, but to still get past that line, to disrupt it the way you were, a quarterback that could run.
Yep.
It was phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree. I mean, in the coming months when I see you, I'm sure we're going to be talking more about the future of us, how, the way Fields, when he comes back probably next week and, gets, his seat back in as QB1, starting again. But like, I just want him, for him as a player, I want him to finish out strong, just to show the league and the world that it's not him.
I agree. And all the players are behind him. NFL players are behind him.
Literally.
NFL coaches are behind him. And this is his audition for the next coach, the next GM, because nobody else is going to come in. This is his second coach.
Second coach already.
If you come in as the third coach and you have a shot at that first overall pick, are you going to put your job in the line for Justin Fields? Probably not. So he's auditioning for this basically, because if you come in as a coach, you're going to sit there and go, you know what? He hasn't worked with these guys. I don't know if I'm going to get it out of him. Maybe they broke him in a way that you can't fix, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be gone.
Yeah, and I hope not. I hope not.
I could not agree more. I love Fields. I think he's got the tools. You watch how they rolled out Badgett the other night, and you're curious why they don't do that with Fields more. He's more natural with it.
Thank you.
The problem when you have all this time to throw but nothing's developing is normally what happens after the first 2.5, 3 seconds. Most of your routes are already done. They're run. And the play is now broken down.
Yep.
Now, if you have a guy sitting in the pocket and he's a natural runner, he's not going to see those guys running around and doing those other things.
Nope.
You need to get him out of the pocket, get him running around so he can see downfield, see all that stuff. And that's where guys start doing that Jordy Nelson, Aaron Rodgers stuff, where you start clicking and knowing where you got to run when the stuff breaks down. And if you don't do that with him, you are handicapping one of his biggest assets to his game.
Bro, he literally ran. Yeah, he ran for 1,000 yards last year with free agent starting wide receivers.
Yes.
And
he's not Russell Wilson size. He's 6'5". He's got the size to take the hits. Just start teaching him how to take the hits a little better and let him run. Lamar runs, let him run.
Yeah. Yeah. And we can talk about Fields all day. I'm gonna move on to the next division. You can pick whatever team, AFC East or NFC East. AFC East or NFC East.
Oh, I'll go NFC East. Cowboys.
Okay, go.
Cowboys this weekend are going to be an absolute riot to watch. The Giants are going to be in for the most painful game, I think. One of the most painful games we're going to watch this whole season.
Agreed. And oh man, when I think about the Giants, I just think of Saquon, bro. He should have left.
Yep.
He should have left. He's too good of a player. He still has some, I'd say, battery left in his career. Being so-called in his prime. His injuries didn't help, but like he's healthy this year, minus his high ankle sprain. And it's like, come on. Like, I love you as a player. I loved you at Penn State. Like, please just move on and stop being
There's
loyal.
No version of Saquon that is saving this Giants team. No version. No. I don't care what prime version of him you want to grab. It's not saving this team. I
agree. Yeah, Cowboys, they're going to have a beatdown for sure.
Dak's playing well.
Yeah, dude. And but then everyone goes, well, it's the Cowboys,
Agree.
But
everybody said it's the Cubs. It's the Cubs. So whatever happens.
Yeah. So we'll see how that picture in that NFC playoff goes when, it's time. But yeah, I am definitely scared of them. And they should have beat that Philly team. They should have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Philly, the only reason I didn't mean Philly, the Philly's just Philly. And until they show that they can't do it, you get the benefit of the doubt. You're a championship quality team until you show me you can't.
Yeah, and for the Philly, my Philly take is what are your thoughts on the tush push?
It's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
There's scheme against it. I'm sick of finding something they're good at, and then the NFL going, you know what? No, thank you.
Yeah, right. I agree.
It's one of those things. If it's a part of the game.
Yeah,
that's fine. And if you want, restrict the amount of times you want to do it. But even then, why kill the creativity?
Yeah, exactly. And that team's been really fun to watch. AJ Brown, man, oof. In my opinion, I think he's wide receiver 1 in the league over Tyreek, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's been insane, nasty.
It's it's like watching. I don't even know how to compare him.
Like,
do you remember Anquan Bolden at all?
Oh my, come on now.
It's like watching a guy with his size, muscles. What Josh Gordon should have been. That's what he is. That first year with the Browns when he had 6 billion yards receiving and he missed 4 games.
Yep.
That's who this guy is.
Yeah, agreed.
He can take the hits. He can run the routes. He can burn you.
Yep.
He does it all.
He's smart.
Without getting suspended 8,000 times.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I agree. Okay, AFC West, NFC West.
Oh, I mean NFC West. I mean Seahawks. I don't know if
Man, okay.
It's Niners. That's it.
Yeah, but like Seahawks too. I was high on them coming into the season with the draft picks, their defense, and like I don't know what's happening to them. Like they're just, and I'm not gonna blame it on Gino, but
West Virginia quarterback still a West Virginia quarterback.
Yeah, at the end of the day, but I feel like offensively, I don't. On paper, you look at that team and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. JSN hasn't made me mad. He's been picking up speed for the past 3 weeks with targets and receptions. It's just like, I don't know. But obviously 49ers, their offense has been fucking struggling though. Like that, and that scares me too. So
they get Debo back though, so hopefully that'll open them back up. But I don't know, like guys like Jackson Smith. It's the same thing with Quentin Johnson. When you come in and you already have 2 guys ahead of you, you're not getting force fed the reps. Addison got force fed the reps, so you grow faster.
And you do.
If you're sitting behind Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, how much are you honestly learning in terms of game time, real time experience?
Right, exactly.
In terms of like being just thrown into it, and you're just learning on the fly how guys break, how guys sit in zones, how to do all that when you're coming in as the 3rd wide receiver, and you're also so far down in the totem pole of targets, you're just not getting those reps. And now it's starting to pick up as injuries happen and everything else, and guys kind of fade out of an offense. But I don't know, sometimes it just takes a while. I think Njigba, probably one of the most talented guys I've seen out of the draft the last few years.
Yeah. So it's his rookie year. I'm not writing anything off of him by any means. I just. It shocks me that their offense is not more dominant than it is. I mean, and their defense is solid for sure with Frank Clark going back and their pickups.
They have a fun defense, but that Ravens game was just one of those things like you score 14, you score 17. I get it. It's the Ravens D, but you drop 3 points against them and there was no life, no fight, nothing.
Yeah.
And that's a team if you make the playoffs, there's a good chance of seeing them in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And that's how you showed up to that game. You're not ready.
Yeah, no, I agree. I fucking agree. South. I'll start here. I mean, I mentioned
they're all still in the. They can go to the Big Ten and I'll go 500 right now.
Right. I mean, oh man, the Saints, dude.
Probably most balanced.
Yeah, for sure. I think Carr needs to pull his fucking head out of his ass. And
I love Olave. He's an absolute
stud. Kamara, stud.
Kamara revitalizing his career.
Oh my God!
Not that it ever faded, but it was one of those things where people were starting to look at him like he was hitting the back end, and now
so you're gonna get a kick out of this. So about 2 weeks ago, one of my fantasy leagues, I had I call him the chirper, and he's the one junior in a league that every year, and this is not dynasty, this is just year by year. Every year he's that fucker. It's like I'm open to trades, and I call him the biggest fleecer. And unfortunately, in my head and calculating trade value, I definitely got fleeced from this one. So this scenario was me. And you're probably gonna kill me for this. Me giving up Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown.
Oh God.
Yeah. So you're like, John, you should have gone the house, correct?
Yeah.
I got Kamara.
Okay.
One player.
Okay.
Addison.
Okay.
And then my third pick to replace my quarterback was Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
So Yeah,
When did you make the trade?
a day after Kirk.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I mean,
Oh God is right.
yeah,
My thinking is this: I regret it because I didn't look at who I was playing next. It happens to be this fucking kid.
yeah.
So he drops 160 on me. I score 102.
Oh jeez.
And then the only text I got the rest of the night that sent me ablaze was, "Thank you for handing me the championship. By the
Oh
way,
jeez.
this kid is only 4-5."
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Watch the growth.
I'm like, you're being pretty confident, and like, yes, I gave you AJ, but like, there are some pretty other solid teams in our league. So I made it my job to make sure to possibly make sure that he does not win this year.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
that'd be so painful. I have a kid that went off on me because we couldn't come to a trade,
uh,
and he says something about he was coming at me for Michael Pittman, who's having a really really good quiet year that
yeah,
nobody's
he
talking
is.
about. Just very consistent. I think he's a top 14, top 13 wide receiver right now,
Yep.
top 15, something like that. Either way, for the offense, the quarterbacks that they've had out there, he's doing really well. So he was a part of this trade. So he starts like tearing apart Pittman, and I'm looking at his roster. I'm like, dude, like just shut up. Like, good luck with Wandale Robinson. He's in your starting lineup. Like, the offer that I'm giving you fills your entire team out, whatever else. And so he starts bashing me, and he's like, well, you're 1-6 for teams, whatever. And it's only because I don't have a quarterback. So I had Kyler Murray, and then I'd pick it as my backup. I was hoping he'd kind of
Yeah.
flourish this year. So I ended up getting Dak Prescott preseason. He kind of had a slow start. So since he started talking shit and started coming at me, I've won 4 straight games.
Yup.
I'm next to him in the playoffs, next to him in the 6th spot for the playoffs. I beat him by 60 points last week, and he hasn't said a word to me.
Yeah. So I love that from you. I should have been like you and said fuck off because when I was asking the house for him and he called me a fucking idiot, he's like, "Are you dumb? How is that fair? How is that even?" I was asking for Tyreek Hill and Kamara for
Which I
those
think would have
two.
been, which I think would have been perfect.
Yeah. And so for 2 weeks, he did not do it. And at that, it was a month, 4 weeks every day asking about the
Oh,
trade.
oh
So,
God.
and so I was like, you know
I've
what?
been annoyed into taking some trades I didn't want to take.
So I was like, you're literally a fly on the wall that's buzzing in my ear every day. I'm like, so in the group chat, I'm like, you're literally the buzzing fly. I did it because you were fucking annoying me. So with that, I transitioned to Kamara being traded out. And with Kamara, I got Mike Evans and Amari Cooper. Just for
Okay.
just for Kamara.
For redraft, so I think there's people get clouded with their values between dynasty keeper and redraft.
Yeah, for real.
Redraft. I traded away Amon-Ra St. Brown for Cooper and Mixon. I would have never done in dynasty keeper. I would have never even considered it.
No shot.
But I had so many receivers. Like my bench is like the Godwins, McLaurins, and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I'm like I have no running backs. I have
Yeah.
Bijan, but he's too up and down. LG or Algar, however you say his name, has
Yeah.
been too consistent as backup. And then Bijan just had some up and down with sickness and everything else. And the offense is just kind of just tough to keep flowing anyway. And so
Yeah.
I got torn apart for this trade, and like everybody's like blah blah. I'm like, guys, it's a redraft league. It's
Yeah.
necessity. It's not always value. It's necessity.
No, you're right.
And
And
my
so,
roster needed that, and I think
yep,
I've won both my games since the trade, and both those guys have outscored. I mean, I had a bye week for one of the weeks, but like,
yeah,
I mean, Cooper's been just fine.
yep, yep,
His
yeah,
targets are there. Targets are
yep,
everything in fantasy for receivers. His
yeah,
targets are there,
especially
and
for
then
PPR.
yeah, and then mixing with their strength of schedule and just without Burrow's been playing or rest of schedule. Sorry,
Yeah,
he's going to be a great play for the rest of the season.
yeah. So, yeah, with like my trade with getting those two wide receivers, I was wide receiver lacking for
Yeah,
sure. But besides the AJ Brown, on my before I had him on my roster, that he was like my only real guy. And
yeah,
so yeah, now I mean my lineup is T Law, Aaron Jones, who's coming back finally, more healthy, getting more targets, and no snap count.
yeah,
Bijan, unfortunately, I have him. It's been a
yeah,
really shitty situation. And then my other two running backs were Herbert, who's on IR but coming
yep.
off, and then my waiver pickup of the year, Kyan Williams. So like,
Oh, he comes back in 2 weeks. I'm dying to get him back.
but like right there, that's a pretty fucking stacked running back
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
room. And yeah, so I built that there, and we'll see how I'm
yeah.
4-5. Yeah, I'm four and
Okay.
five right now.
Injuries make you do some desperate stuff in redraft leagues too. So, I
Exactly.
mean, that's
So
because now or never only exists pretty much in redraft leagues, kind of in keeper leagues, but for the most part, now or never, pretty much only works in redraft leagues because unless you have some old, outdated team in Dynasty, you can rebuild, move on,
Yep,
redraft.
exactly.
You can, reboot your whole team, go for picks, whatever else. But redraft, you know when you're out of a season. You know when you're close to it. So all of a sudden, you're always most dangerous when you're backed in the corner. It also means sometimes you don't make the best decisions when you're backed into a corner because you know that you're kind of under that, sink or swim moment where it's like, okay, if I don't do this, like I remember for my favorite thing for redraft leagues, if you have a good team or you're going to be in the playoffs, look at the lower teams. And when they start getting to that point where you know that they can't lose anymore and they've got guys on bye weeks, and it's like, hey, if you lose this game, it doesn't matter that you have whoever the player is. So go after that player because they're irrelevant to them. Because if they lose again, it doesn't matter if they have them because they're now done for the season. So now you can use that kind of stuff and go, hey, I'll give you this guy and this guy. You can play him this week. You can't use these guys anyway. If you don't win this week, you're done for the season anyway. And you'll get some guys that'll actually make some moves that you weren't actually, maybe expecting to actually, maybe to get a player, you never thought you had a chance at.
For sure. Yeah. That was a great segment. That was fun. All right. Next one. 500 teams or around the 500. We can go one win above 500 or below 500 or at 500.
All right. So I looked right at 500 and all three teams are fantastic.
So who do you got?
All AFC. They're all AFC. It's Chargers, Texans, and Jets.
Dude. Yeah, I was hoping you could read the Texans because I want to talk about my boy CJ, dude. And
so the Texans are the next Detroit Lions.
Agreed.
Right now.
Agreed.
Right now.
Agreed.
The young, the draft classes, the play they're getting out of their young guys, the mentality the team has.
Agreed.
I love what's going on in Houston.
Tank Dell, man. Whoo!
He's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I have him in 2 leagues, and then unfortunately, I made some moves in my dynasty, and I traded him away. Four more young talent though, so my team's pretty young. So it's like, but like he is going to be a stud, and I'm excited. I have a question for you. Would you start him this week without Nico?
So I was going to say to jump a segment really quick. He's one of my biggest starts of the week.
Okay, good. Okay,
they're going to throw. Damian Pierce is out. They're going to throw and throw and throw. Who's going to give the ball to Devin Singletary more than 15 times? Not a chance.
No way.
I see somebody's got him projected at like 12 points on like the ESPN app. I'm like, what crack are you smoking? And where is he going to do this at?
For real,
he might break one off or something like that, but I can't see CJ Stroud not throwing this ball 45 times.
Yeah, true. So that solidifies my start for him this week. Thank you for that.
And I think between him and Schultz last week, they had 22 targets, 11 each.
Bro,
and Nico only had 5 or 6 total. So even with Nico or without him, he's getting the ball thrown to him.
For sure. Yeah, I love that Houston's play. I think this year, but definitely next year. I think with their draft class and see what they do, at the end of season and stuff, I think they're going to be nasty.
Yeah, and then I think the Jets. I think that this Aaron Rodgers show of him doing the warm-ups and everything else.
That's fucking crazy.
I agree, and I think the reason, the best thing that comes out of this is if you're all the vets, if you're all the players that are on this team, and you have to put up with Zach Wilson, but you know that if you put up with him and you can get yourself into the playoffs, that you have this guy on the Superman of a recovery, you will put up with the Zach Wilson, you will put up with the bullshit, knowing that by the wild card or the second round, you might get Aaron Rodgers back.
Yeah.
So you won't get the locker room problems, you won't get the bullshit, as long as you're still maintaining that playoff level. Just anything we're close, and that defense is legit enough to do anything in the playoffs. That team could become dangerous. They just got to sit there and put up with that crap enough to get Aaron Rodgers back.
And I feel like even if it's like a nail biter, like the last 2 games of the season that they need to win,
I don't disagree.
It could be a surprise that we don't see our boy A. Rodgers out on that field, and he would do it too, 100%. No doubt in my mind. I love those two. And then who's your third again?
Chargers.
Dude,
just the talent. Just the talent. Who they got? Everything else.
Defense is not consistent enough.
Defenses. They can't keep a safety healthy. I swear to God, they've lost a safety to a season-ending injury for like 9 years in a row.
Yeah, but it's like they don't. I'm literally speechless right now because
they're the best worst team the last 10 years.
Yeah, I know, but it's like you have all that talent, and you think their defense is dog shit. Like honestly, it is.
It's almost like the curse of the team though. Like you want to be blown away. Look up Philip Rivers' stats and then look at his record to go along with it.
Yes.
It's insane.
Nuts.
Insane.
Nuts.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I agree. We'll see. I'm gonna humbly disagree there.
The Chargers are my least confident out of those three.
Yeah.
Big time
But
because of the division, the conference they play in, and then just their history. And there's something that's just off with Herbert when it comes to these big games.
yeah.
He seems like he could be developing into like a overhyped version of somebody that might just end up being Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Which is not the end of the world. He's an NFL guy. He'll play. He'll get his contracts, but I don't
Yep.
think you're ever going to get him past that NFC Championship, AFC Championship type game.
For sure. Okay, this is questionable take here. I don't know. I'm not shitting on your Bills, but I don't know what they've been doing. It's
Offense is broken.
yeah, but like it's like I consider Allen a leader for sure.
He seems off.
For sure. And I don't know what it's been, and I just hate. I think Diggs is a really good wide receiver, but I hate their nagging back and forth with each other, complaining, bitching at each other. Like, bro, you play in the NFL. Like, it is hard. Like, it's not meant to be
millions of dollars to be good at recess.
Okay? Literally. Like, shut up, legit. Like, Diggs, you're a damn well a top 5, top 10 receiver in the league. Like, act like one, and know that like maybe it's not Allen. Maybe you got to do better. Like running routes or communicating like, hey, when plays break down, let's try something new that could, change the game. Or I'm going to be starting these tendencies at this point and then have Allen and him work on that, in practice and shit. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It's like, and like, also like they also do have some pretty good other wide receivers. Like, I don't think Gabriel Davis is used well enough.
Nope.
He's a stud. And I think
Shakir's been Khalil Shakir. He's fun,
bro. So fun.
And here I'm gonna slightly jump the segment again.
Yeah.
If you want a buy low, first of all, start of the week.
Yeah.
For a start of the week, and then also as a buy low for Dynasty, any league that you can get him in. I don't care. Dalton Kincaid.
Thank you.
Now, as soon as you fucking can.
Yeah.
This guy, it's Sam Laporta. Awesome. I'm an Iowa guy. Love my Iowa tight ends.
Yes,
This guy,
I
think, could be better than Laporta as a receiver. I don't think he's an overall tight end. It's hard to match a guy like him. But in terms of receiver, the offense the Bills have, and the fact that Josh Allen's actually absorbing a tight end into his offense.
Thank God.
Austin Knox has ability, but just something didn't mesh, didn't give him the confidence to throw to him.
Correct.
Dalton Kincaid has been absolutely peppered.
Yep. Yeah.
The last few weeks, and he looks fantastic doing it.
Yeah, dynasty-wise, that is well, if my boys are listening, that is one person I'm going after.
Get him right now.
Big time. And my buddy who has him has a pretty deep bench. So like tight end bench, locker room. So I'm
hamburger and a milkshake and just give him to you.
Yeah. So hopefully I can squeeze a deal with him in the next week. Because I think our trade deadlines, I think after week 11, I think.
Okay. Well, but the tight end world's gonna have a big upheaval because Waller's starting to fade. Health doesn't match up, so he's dropped out of that top 5 tight end thing. He's been pretty sketchy on that for the last couple of years, anyway.
Yep.
Travis Kelce at 33, going on 34. Can't do it forever. Love him.
Love him. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, Kincaid's been nuts. I have him on that same the same redraft league that I traded AJ and Hurts on. Man, he's been nuts. He's been a savior for me for sure.
Yeah, and so the dynasty league that I did to make rosters a little more balanced and stuff like that, and just make it a little more competitive, we switched over to 2-point PPR for tight ends. It's fantastic because all of a sudden the top 12 to 15 tight ends now match up with the top 30 receivers, top 40 receivers.
That's actually
makes them all very usable.
Yeah, for sure.
And we only keep 10 every year, so it's one of those things that once everybody does a reset on their rosters, everybody's able to kind of balance their rosters back out, and so everybody can compete. Because like Dynasty, once you fade, it is so hard to build that team back unless you nail your drafts. Yeah, just get a couple lucky trades.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that is very true. That's actually cool. I'm gonna bring it up to my Dynasty GM. That would be actually pretty.
Yeah,
It's
and
fair. It's fair
it's an
too.
adjustment at first. You get some games where it's kind of crazy, but the thing is it turns a lot of guys into very startable and very valuable players.
For sure. I
And
agree.
it balances like
Yeah.
the biggest problem with dynasty is once a couple of guys get an absolutely loaded roster, it is so hard to take those kings down. It's
Yep.
very hard. It's very hard to build against it. It's hard. It's very hard as a bottom guy to make enough trades to build yourself up and compete enough. In most dynasty leagues, like mine's $300. Most of them were earning from $200 to $500 for dynasty leagues.
Yep.
So if a guy's in last place, or even if a guy comes and takes over a new team, you're asking him to commit anywhere from $600, $900 to $1,500 for over the next 2, 3, 4 years till he can get to the point of competing.
Yeah.
That's a lot to ask somebody. And you make an adjustment like this, and next thing you know, you start using your David Njoku's, your Cole Kmet's. Like Cole Kmet, he's a top 18 receiver in our league points wise.
Yeah. He's been nuts.
And now some guy gets to use him that probably would have never used him before.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's dope.
And they compete with the big boys now, which is nice.
Yeah, for real. Okay. Player performances. Upcoming week 10. Who's booming and who's a bust?
Okay, so my booms, it's hard to sit there and call them booms because they're already kind of big players. But Devonta Smith, love Devonta Smith as a boom this week because he's been kind of bust. He's been kind of hit or miss.
Yep.
With Gettard down, I think that goes back to the AJ Brown, Devonta Smith show.
Yep.
Big time. I think Christian McCaffrey gets a little weight taken off him because with Debo back, it opens up the inside of that offense big time.
Yep.
The slants and the under routes will hopefully free up McCaffrey quite a bit.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb, just because of the matchup that they have, and he's been absolutely fire. Just keep riding him if you have him. I mean, obviously, you're not going to take him out of the game. You're not going to bench him. But I cannot wait to see what he does this week. My guy that I'm most interested to see, I don't think he'll do much because I think it's kind of a false game last week because a lot of it was garbage time. But Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait to see what he can do. Only problem is Gus Edwards is playing probably the best football of his life right now.
Actually, on that Keaton Mitchell thing, I think he might be questionable. But
yeah.
Right?
But that happens a lot with rookies because you got the NFL size taking the hits. You tweak the hamstring, and his was a hamstring a few weeks back, so he might have tweaked it again or something like that. But he's a guy to keep an eye on
for sure.
Because I mean, you run as much as Baltimore does, you get injuries. You can't take those hits. And Justice Hill is not. He's not a durable punching bag. He takes injuries. And he could win a league at the end of the season, big time.
For sure. My booms. For me, I only had two for the week, but we kind of already mentioned hit one, which is Tank Dell. I think he's going to have a good another boom week 2. Like you said, I think Stroud. Man, speaking of Stroud, I'm not surprised with how well he's doing. I am.
How fast he's doing it, though.
Yes, exactly, and I'm happy that he's proving all of the NFL draft analysis wrong. Considering QB smarts wise, he scored one of the lowest ever in NFL history. But at the end of the day, when he steps on that field, A, he's a leader. B, he's just football. He's literally just football smart. Fuck the test. Fuck read it. The film.
Justin Fields got a perfect score in the Wonder League test.
Right. So it's
ever. What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm fucking stoked for him balling out, and I think he's definitely the front runner of Rookie of the Year for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Another one I want to add to it with Murray coming back. Keep your eye on McBride out in Arizona,
dude.
Big time.
Yeah. And
I know I'm preferencing a lot of tight ends. I think this kind of comes from our league being a 2-point PPR kind of thing, so I pay attention a lot to tight ends. That sounded terrible.
Wait, pause.
But his targets are there. I don't think Ertz is going to sit there and make for anything. I think Arizona's playing for the future anyway. That's why they got rid of Dobbs, because you could sit there. If Murray sucks, you can trade him, dump him, whatever you got to do, because he's been a handful anyway. And then they're already there for the number 1, maybe number 2 overall pick. And then you have Kyler Murray, so you take Kyler Murray in the number 2 pick. If you don't have it, you trade up and you get yourself, your Caleb Williams, and you're done.
Yeah, for sure.
So they've got their options.
Yeah.
I think McBride in Arizona is showing out very well. He's a very, very balanced player, and I think that Kyler Murray, with the lack of weapons out there, it'll be Marquise Brown great this week, and then McBride.
Yeah, my one other boom for this week. If Kenny can throw the fucking ball, I think with I'm not gonna say a for sure boom. I think a potential boom would be Pickens with his frustrations. I think they'll target him more per se. But
I hope so.
but when it goes to the Pickens, like the whole Pickens ordeal, do I think he has a right to be pissed? Definitely.
Yes.
He is a stud.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a top 15 wide receiver if they used him right,
Could not agree more.
and B, if we had a solid quarterback to throw him to.
I agree.
So,
his targets. I'm trying to find them real quick so I can just look up his targets.
yeah, it's stupid how inconsistent it is, and also it's like they're only throwing fucking go routes to him. I'm like, use him like Deontay.
Yes, like his last 4 games: 10, 8, and then 5 and 5.
Literally, like
what are you doing?
It's
George Pickens.
Yeah, his literally catching radius of just up, left, right, low. He's one of the best hands of the game.
6'3", 200 pounds. He can jump anywhere, and you're a bad quarterback. He is your best friend. Throw him the ball. Deontay Johnson, fantastic route runner.
Yeah.
Crappy hands, great route runner.
Yeah.
Knows how to separate. I get him as a safety blanket, but the fact that you're only throwing the ball 5 times in a game, shame on you.
Yeah, but then that also goes back to my Matt Canada, qualm with him. It's like I need someone in the Steelers organization to bring someone in that can actually call and make an offense off of everyone's strengths. And Canada is a simplistic high school football coach. And I want him burning on a stake already. I've wanted it since fucking week 3. But anyway, that's my qualm there. My bust of the week. Oh man. I have Aaron Jones. I'm starting him. I think the way that Jordan Bum Love has been playing, I don't think he's the guy. Also, that's but with the way that Steelers defense has been, shutting down the run and playing, even though with Minka out and unfortunately us losing Holcomb, which was fucking sad because he was having his best year of his career and finally being healthy, and then that unfortunate missed tackle by Levi Wallace that separated his fucking knee in half. But God.
Outside of that.
Yeah, but outside of that, they're doing very well. We got our veteran Hayward back, so it's like I think they could stop him big time. So I think he's a potential bust for sure. And then on another note, there I think on another running back, I feel like Cowboys are gonna fucking.
I was gonna say his name.
Yeah,
I know you love him, but please say his name.
Yeah, I feel like Saquon's gonna get eaten alive by Micah Parsons and that defense. And is it like maybe a 10-point at max type of week? Sure, but at the end of the day, you need him for at least 15 points every week to be consistent.
Yes, but I think this year, finding busts has been, a lot easier this year.
Yeah,
and I think it's because of the amount of this is probably the biggest quarterback turnover I've ever seen in the NFL.
For real,
between first-year starters, rookie starters, second-year starters, young guys going to new teams. Yep. The amount of guys that are just now learning an offense or just getting acclimated to the speed of that offense or playing in a game live is through the roof. And so this is the 1 year where defenses are ruling everything. And there are very few offenses that are just winning football games.
Yep.
It's almost everybody's revolved around defenses. So you can look at this and you look at Packers, bust them all. I don't care. Anybody on the Giants, bust them all.
Yep.
Cleveland Browns playing at Baltimore. Who are you going to trust?
Nah,
trust.
They're going to throw the ball to Amari Cooper a million times. I'll tell you that much.
I'd assume he's probably the only one you can actually put anything behind.
Yeah,
maybe one of them to sneak and steal a touchdown or something like that.
But barely against that Ravens defense, who's been low key not talked enough about. Like everyone's talking about Browns, San Fran. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Ravens are having a sneaky good year.
They've got this middle linebacker that I heard's pretty good.
He's
plays somewhere around here.
Yeah, I think his name is. I think his number was 58 or something. Yeah.
Now we're like, you know what? We'll take Chase Claypool instead. That's great. Yeah,
literally.
We took that same second round pick, and now we have Montez Sweat, which is I don't get what second round picks get you. It blows my mind.
Yeah. And by the way, Claypool's not even playing at Dolphins, so it's just that for me. For me, that's my one strike one with polls. two more out. Like, yeah. Fantasy. We'll run this by quick. Fantasy, because we kind of been doing like start and sit them, but quarterbacks or a quarterback that you would start this week.
Oh, I love. What's the one? Let me pull up schedule real fast.
Yep, I'm also going to do the same.
Oh God, it's tough.
Yeah, I know.
I'm loving Sam Howell, but I just depending on the weather and the Seahawks you get at a 3:00 game. I'm curious.
Yeah, I love Sam Howell.
I don't know. But Saints defense, they both play in domes. I mean, Josh Dobbs, I think with his legs and just not knowing that offense, I think he's going to run a lot more than he normally would.
Yep.
What else? I mean, I know 49ers defense is like 25th against the pass. So, I mean, Trevor Lawrence might actually not be that bad, but I mean, it's got to be dump offs because that team's going to run.
I think Goff is a safe start against the Chargers. I think he's going to have a great week. I think having Montgomery back and also the tandem of Gibbs, who's been fucking, killing it past couple of weeks. With his absence, I feel like it's going to be a lot of dump offs, but two, it's going to set up very, very well for the play action, which Goff is a fucking amazing quarterback off of play action, play calling. So
I think if you're desperate this week, Baker Mayfield.
Yep, I had to pick him up.
You got to be desperate though.
I had to pick him up for
you got a home game. It's the Titans. They're 3-5. I mean, the chance of getting a full effort out of the Titans.
Yep,
probably not the best.
Yeah. Sit-ems. To be honest, I mean, I'm not gonna go something like too obvious, but like honestly, I think I'd sit Purdy against the Jags.
Yeah, I don't like Purdy. Sean Watson. Not that Watson's been too startable.
Yeah, no. And then I mean, if you're in like the 14 to 16 man leagues and you have like a shit quarterback, I mean, honestly, I'm not too confident in fucking Carr either.
I was just looking at Saints. I was just gonna say Carr.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think he can pass his way out of a Vikings defense too often. I mean, it depends on how much they get Kamara involved. Because they didn't get Kamara involved at all, which did not open up the middle of that game at all last week.
No,
offense looked like shit because of it.
Yep, agreed. And to be honest, Vikings defense has been meshing well as the season's gone on. First 3 weeks, they were fucking
horrible. Like they didn't even play. They never played together again.
No, but
they just learned what the sport was.
For real. But they've been meshing well. So yeah, I say Carr. Running backs. Ooh, starting. I mean, like I said, I feel like we've been really high on the Detroit Lions this episode, and either Gibbs or Montgomery. I'm interested to see their workload. Yeah, their workload split. I think if Montgomery's first game back, I think it's going to be more of a 60-40 Gibbs, probably.
It'll be game dependent, I think.
Yeah, and also with coaches saying all right, who's feeling themselves this week or today? Yeah, I agree.
But I think you can put confidence in them both because like when Swift was healthy, Swift and Jamal Williams were fine together.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's like Jahmyr Gibbs. He's not going to get anything inside the 5-yard line. But he's also that guy. He can break plenty of them from outside of 10 yards.
Yep.
So you can start him confidently. And all you have to do with Montgomery is pray for 50 yards and just pray you can fall forward 1 yard into the end zone one time, and you got yourself your double-digit points out of your running back, which is
agreed.
Not that bad.
No, and then another one could be questionable, but I think Breece Hall against the Raiders. I think he's set up for a decent game.
Oh, he's going to be fun. And they're revolved around him. I mean, that's all they have.
Yep.
So, I mean, you're going to force feed him the ball, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yep, agreed. Sit-ems, dude.
I mean, you can't sit Saquon.
No, you can't, but
you should.
Yeah. I feel like, as dog as the Patriots offense are, and, Ramondre did break out a 75-yarder last week, I think that Colts D, that Colts D is coming for him. So
yeah, and I think the thing too, you look at a guy like Stevenson, you take away that 75-yard game. What did he have?
5 points.
So that's one of those things where you take away the freak play, and I want to see your averages on your carries on the carries that weren't that.
Yep, exactly.
Because that skews your stats. It makes you look like it's a whole lot better. It's the same thing with Caden Mitchell last year, or last week. Like, yeah, he had 9 carries or 10 carries for the 100 and whatever yards. But when it's garbage time, you're really counting too much of that.
Yeah, right.
And putting your faith behind it. Like, it's fantastic. It's fun to see. They're hyped about him. But what does that really get you when it's garbage time? You don't have the guys out there fully trying. It was already like 30-something to 3 or 20-something to 3. It was end of the game.
Yeah. Wide receivers, my start and sit. I think Amon-Ra has a good. I'm just going to Lions and look at the schedule. I'm like Amon-Ra. I'd say
Amon-Ra is gonna be fantastic.
I think Amon-Ra's gonna have a good week, and then sit. I mean, okay, questionable.
Real quick. Sneaker stardom. Noah Brown.
Oh, agreed, dude. He low-key has been getting a lot more targets than
I just thought of that because Nico went down.
Yeah, agreed.
He's huge. He's ginormous.
Yeah, I like that too. I feel like since JJ is out still and Dobbs is still learning, I feel like Addison's a safe pick too, just because Marcus is going to be all over him for the whole game.
Yeah.
So I would sit at Addison if you had the depth in your team.
Yeah, and then most of the rest of the sit-ems, just run down those teams that are playing those defenses.
Yep.
It's too hard to guess who's going to get peppered and not get peppered. But if you look at a guy, it's like, okay, this quarterback's going to struggle against this defense.
Yeah.
You might want to avoid the receivers, like your Romeo Dobbs, stuff like that.
Yeah, agreed.
They're fun players, but just what are they going to do in that game, honestly?
Yep. Tight end, we already mentioned him. Kincaid against the Broncos.
Mm-hmm. And then I think probably McBride's probably one of my other ones, start of the week.
Yeah, sit-ems. I mean, my sit-em of the week. If you have another decent tight end, I could be wrong here, but Bengals secondary and middle of the field linebackers that cover very, 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 very well. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be blocking up Dalton big time.
Yep, and then Njoku as well.
Yep, agreed there.
Maybe another one. Just I don't think Ravens linebackers let him get anywhere. He might steal you a red zone touchdown, but he'll be one of those guys. He'll be 3 catches, 17 yards, and a touchdown if he's lucky, I think.
Yep. All right. Last segment of the night, my friend, and then I'll let you give your Friday back. I'm sorry.
You're all good.
We're talking. I mean, like I said, we could talk for fucking years.
We talk of it,
but I'm gonna pull up FanDuel, and we're gonna get into the betting segment here. We're gonna go money line, money time. So I gotta sign in here, and I'm gonna work down the little NFL schedule here, and I'll give you the odds with each money line. So game 1 that's listed on here: Colts at New England. Money lines -126 for Colts. Do you honestly think Patriots do that game?
I mean, 3-point game at home, Commanders. They got smoked by the Dolphins. Beat the Bills at home. I think money line. God, it's so tough. I hate the Patriots. Like I hate this team. I hate Mac Jones.
I know.
Like it's New England. Mm-hmm. It's that weird morning game. It's overseas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Colts then.
All right.
Yeah, if it's not New England, then you don't have that little power of the little extra room behind Mac Jones. He's going to get destroyed overseas. Not a chance.
Niners at Jags. One favorite money lines. 49ers -160.
I'll take Jags money line. They got something to prove.
Agreed. Saints at Vikes.
Vikings. Love the Josh Dobbs. Things in a row.
Tennessee at Bucks.
Buccaneers.
Yep, agreed. Cleveland at Ravens.
Ravens. Unless they get some sort of reigning poor slop fest, Lamar Jackson's playing the best football. And Lamar Jackson's the epitome of let a guy run first and develop his passing as it comes along. Because he was a garbage thrower when he first came into the leagues in terms of NFL quality.
And that is also a funny topic. I don't even think he is prime postseason, end of the season Lamar yet. I feel like they've been I treat him like a pit bull. Leash on most of the season. Yep. He's going to have those 50 to 60-yard rushing games, pass for the mid 200s, low 200s. But when they let that leash go off, it's going to be the
It's
120.
incredible.
It's going to be the 120 rushing touchdowns, and then the 300 passing games. I think he can do it for sure, and he will. It's just I feel like they've been play call wise, and by watching him, he's been very, very conservative. So he's not getting beaten up.
Don't make him think. Let him play. Same
Yep.
thing with Fields. Just let him play.
Yeah, but we know how that goes.
We are where we are.
Houston at Bengals.
Bengals. They're just. I love Houston, but Bengals are just. They're hot right now. I don't even care about T. Higgins. Don't even care.
Okay. Packers Steelers. You took the words right off.
Steelers. So that's going to be 17 to 9 or something like that. It'll be the defense will run the whole thing for the Steelers. So that'll be the
and we're at home too, so that helps.
Yeah.
Falcons at Cardinals.
Cardinals.
You think Kyler's going to get that dub?
Yep, I just think they're a fun team. They've got nothing to lose, and this is probably the most excitement that they've had all season. Having him come back, they got some young dudes that are doing all right.
But bro, Call of Duty fucking came today. You know how he is with Call of Duty. Like,
maybe they won't let the update happen until Monday.
Yeah, probably, or they're gonna take his fucking PC away. Yeah,
maybe. You're not allowed to buy Battle Pass until you win the game.
Nope, agreed. Detroit at LA.
Oh, let's go Detroit.
Yeah,
I love Detroit.
Cowboys
this season.
Cowboys, that's obvious.
Yeah, Cowboys. You're not going to get much return on that one, but if you parlay them into a whole bunch more, then enjoy. 17-point spread is one of the. I just looked at the spread. I've never seen a 17-point spread before.
In the NFL,
I've seen 14. 17 points. That's insane.
Commanders, Seahawks.
Let's go Seahawks. They need to bounce back.
They do. Jets, Raiders.
Geno Smith has to show it. Jets, Raiders.
That's a tough one, bro.
Donde está? At Raiders.
Yeah, at Raiders.
Primetime game. Honestly, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think the
new coach.
I love it.
I love it. Same.
The fact that guys on that team in the actual offices are apologizing to these players for wasting their time, the accountability. The players have to love it. The fact that they have a coach that they know that they can count on, they can talk to, that they can just be players around. That's a world of differences in an NFL locker room.
And I think it's so neat that the practice squad players are on the side. That's more people love it. More teams should do it, honestly.
Yes. They help the amount of practice squads that help teams win weeks.
Literally,
they deserve it.
Last game of the week, obvious. Denver
Bills.
at Buff. Yeah.
All
right. We're looking at a $10 parlay to win $6,000. Let's get it.
Let's go. 600 orders of cheese curds.
Or many spotted cows.
Yes, blackout. Be fine.
Yeah, big time. And then you could just sit me on a bar stool and I'll sleep on the.
I'll get a seatbelt for it too.
Yeah, we'll be good. Hopefully Jack doesn't kick my ass, but we'll see. And then my last part of the segment that I also build is we could do 3, your choice, 3 or 4 leg dog parlay.
Ooh, dogs. All right, well, Cardinals.
Yep, got it.
All right, looking for dogs. Jags, they're dogs.
Yep.
Vikings. I don't know if I have the confidence of the Vikings, so I'll leave number 3 up to you.
Yep. 3, I honestly think I'm gonna go Texans.
All right, cool. I like it. They have the moxie to do it. They just gotta keep up with the scoring.
Yep, agreed.
They can slow down Mixon and just keep it on the passing game and try to just get after Burrow.
And I do think without T. Higgins playing, I think that will affect them that more. Yep. I do think so. So, All right, bro. I'm gonna put these in. Let you know someday how they do. Okay. But
look forward to it.
Everyone listening and everyone who listens to podcasts, either live or on Spotify or Apple Music. This has been the episode. My name is John Mitch. I'll see you next week. Mike, thanks for coming out, man. It was really fun.
Time, man. Look forward to being on again.
Yeah. Thanks for your time. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And I think my fam's up there. So if you see them this weekend, I'm sure they'll give a big hello and ask how this was. Tell them it wasn't too terrible, please.
I'm gonna get your dad to play spoons too, so that'll be great.
Bad, but yeah, bro. I will catch you and everyone listening out there. Always. Thanks, and tell someone you love them, bro. Peace.
Yeah, appreciate it.